Your mindset is the single most important factor in determining your success or failure. Look around. Everything in your life right now, the money, the job, the body, the respect, it's exactly what you fucking deserve. You're not broke because life is unfair. You're broke because you've accepted mediocrity. You're not overweight because of bad luck. You're overweight because you lack discipline. Success isn't given. It's fucking taken. You have to be aggressive and go after what you want in life. But most of you just sit there scrolling, complaining, waiting for something to change. Guess what? Nothing will change unless you do. The world doesn't care about your excuses. You wake up every morning broke, stressed, and wondering why life hasn't handed you success. But let's be brutally honest. Your entire life is a reflection of your mindset. The way you think determines everything. The rich don't stay rich because of luck, and the poor don't stay poor because the universe hates them. A rich man's mind prints money, while a poor man's mind finds ways to waste it. That's the difference. It's not about the amount of money you start with. It's about how your fucking brain operates. Look at how you spend your time. The moment you get a little bit of money, your first instinct is to waste it on something meaningless. You get paid, and instead of figuring out how to multiply that money, you rush to spend it on shit that brings no value. A new phone, some useless gadget, some overpriced bullshit that impresses nobody but your own weak ego. You spend money like a consumer, not a producer. You live like the sheep the rich control. Every ad you see, every sale you fall for, every useless item you purchase is all designed to keep you exactly where you are. Trapped in the cycle of poverty. Rich men don't think like that. A man with a wealthy mind looks at money differently. The moment he touches a dollar, his only thought is, blam. How do I make this multiply? He sees money as fuel, a tool to create more wealth. He's not chasing temporary pleasure. He's building fucking empires. That's why the rich get richer. Because they understand that money is just energy and they know how to direct it. But most of you, you don't direct shit. You float through life letting your emotions dictate your decisions, spending money the second it lands in your pocket. Then whining like a little bitch about how unfair life is when you struggle to pay rent. You say you want to be rich. No, you fucking don't. If you really wanted it, you wouldn't be watching movies every night. You wouldn't be going out on weekends, wasting money on overpriced drinks. You wouldn't be buying clothes just to impress people who don't give a fuck about you. A rich man sacrifices comfort for growth. A poor man sacrifices growth for comfort. That's the difference. That's why the rich keep winning and the poor keep losing. You say you want to be rich. No, you fucking don't. If you really wanted it, you wouldn't be watching movies every night. You wouldn't be going out on weekends, wasting money on overpriced drinks. You wouldn't be buying clothes just to impress people who don't give a fuck about you. A rich man sacrifices comfort for growth. A poor man sacrifices growth for comfort. That's the difference. That's why the rich keep winning and the poor keep losing. The way you see money is the root of your failure. You fear losing it, so you hold on to it like a desperate coward, never investing, never risking, never growing. And when you do spend it, you blow it on nonsense that brings zero fucking return. You work a job you hate for money you don't know how to use, to buy shit you don't need, to impress people you don't even like. Then you sit there confused as to why you're stuck in the same miserable place year after year. You want to break the cycle, then change your fucking mindset. Stop thinking like a broke man. Stop living like a weak man. Money is just a tool. You either learn to use it or you let it use you. You either learn to make it work for you or you stay a slave to it for the rest of your life. The choice is yours. But if you keep living like a loser, don't complain when you keep losing. You don't have a money problem. You have a fucking mind problem. And until you fix that, nothing will change. You think rich men are lucky. You think they just stumble into success. Fuck no, they see the world differently. Every minute of every day, they're strategizing, studying, learning, making moves. They see opportunities where you see obstacles. They take action while you sit there overthinking and hesitating like a scared little bitch. The truth is, your life is a direct result of your decisions. If you're broke, it's because you've made broke decisions. If you're rich, it's because you've made rich decisions. There is no mystery. But here's the good news. You can change. The mind is a muscle. And if you train it properly, it can become a fucking money printing machine. You don't have to stay in this cycle. You can reprogram yourself to think like the winners. You can teach yourself to see money as a tool, not a burden. You can stop making weak emotional choices and start making powerful, calculated moves. But it starts with killing the broke mindset that's been holding you hostage. From this moment forward, every dollar you touch should have a purpose. No more wasting money on useless entertainment. No more impulse spending just because you deserve a treat. No more being a pawn in a system designed to keep you weak and broke. If you start thinking like a rich man, money will start to flow toward you. If you keep thinking like a poor man, you will spend your entire fucking life chasing scraps. The choice is yours. Let me tell you a story about two men who started at the exact same place in life. Same background, same resources, same opportunities. The first man, when he got his first paycheck, saw it as a reward. He felt like he had worked hard and now it was time to enjoy life. He bought himself a new phone, took his friends out for dinner, upgraded his car to something flashier. He didn't think about tomorrow, only today. He told himself he deserved it. He told himself he could always make more money later. But as the months passed, he found himself living paycheck to paycheck, stressed about bills, never getting ahead. No matter how much money came in, it was always gone just as quickly. Because he was spending money like a fucking consumer instead of a producer. Meanwhile, the second man got his first paycheck and saw it as an opportunity. He didn't blow it on bullshit that only satisfied his fragile ego. He invested it. He studied. He made every dollar work for him. He didn't care about impressing people who didn't matter. He didn't care about flexing on social media. His only focus was building wealth. His only goal was freedom. While the first man kept spending, the second man kept stacking. He sacrificed the parties, the vacations, the flashy cars, because he understood something the average man never fucking gets. Money is a tool. It's not meant to be wasted on meaningless bullshit to impress people who don't even respect you. It's meant to be used to build something that will last. And now, the first man is still broke, still struggling, still making excuses for why his life is a mess. The second man, he's rich, powerful, and free because he made the decision to control his money instead of letting his money control him. You think that's just a story? It's happening right now. All around you, two men, two different mindsets, two different futures. And if you're broke right now, you already know which man you're acting like. So what the fuck are you going to do about it? Keep playing the victim. Keep throwing away your money on stupid shit that brings zero return. Or are you going to wake the fuck up, change your mindset, and start building the life you want? Because at the end of the day, the only thing stopping you is you. So make the fucking choice or stay broke. It's all on you. The second man, on the other hand, saw his paycheck differently. The moment he got his money, he asked himself, how the fuck do I make this grow? Instead of wasting it on shit that lost value, he put it into things that made him stronger. He spent it on books, courses, mentors. He learned about investments, businesses, high income skills. He didn't waste time scrolling through his phone, bitching about life being unfair. He was too busy sharpening his fucking mind, making himself better, building himself into a beast. While the first man was busy enjoying the illusion of success, blowing his cash to look like he had his shit together, the second man was quietly building real success. He sacrificed short-term pleasure for long-term power. And in a few years, while the first man was still struggling, still stressed, still fucking trapped, the second man was free. He had built something. He had turned his mind into a money printing machine. This is the difference between the rich and the poor. It has nothing to do with luck and everything to do with mindset. One man sees money as a tool. The other sees it as a toy. One man understands that money must be multiplied. The other believes it's meant to be spent. That's why you see people who come from nothing and become millionaires while others stay broke their entire lives. Debts. It's not about where you start. It's about how you fucking think. The poor mind is emotional. It reacts. It chases instant gratification. It spends money the second it's earned because it has no discipline, no strategy, no long-term vision. It lives for the next hit of dopamine, the next cheap thrill, the next moment of comfort. A poor man will complain about being broke while holding a brand new iPhone. He'll say he has no money while standing in line for overpriced coffee. He'll waste his life working a job he hates just to afford shit he doesn't need, all while blaming the system for his struggles. Meanwhile, a rich man sees through the illusion. He understands that money is not about what you earn. It's about what you keep, what you invest, what you grow. You need to stop thinking like a consumer and start thinking like a producer. Stop chasing the lifestyle of wealth before you have actually fucking built wealth. The problem with most of you is that you want to look rich instead of actually becoming rich. You spend money trying to impress people who don't even give a fuck about you, trying to keep up an image that brings you nothing in return. Rich men don't waste money proving they're rich. They use money to get richer. You say you want to be successful, but your actions prove otherwise. You spend money like a dumbass, then complain when you're broke. You want to impress people with your shiny toys, your flashy clothes, your rented lifestyle. But when it's all said and done, you're just another broke idiot pretending to be something you're not. You want to change your life. Then change the way you fucking think. Change the way you see money. Change the way you use your time. Because until you do, you will keep running in circles, stuck in the same miserable place, wondering why nothing ever changes. The rich man isn't lucky. He's fucking focused. He's strategic. He's relentless. He's willing to do what you're not. He's willing to sacrifice comfort, luxury, and ego to build something that will last. So what the fuck are you going to do? Keep playing broke while acting rich? Or start thinking rich so you can actually become rich? Because the difference between you and the man at the top isn't talent or luck. It's mindset. And until you fix that, you will stay exactly where you are. Broke, weak, forgotten. The world is full of distractions designed to steal your fucking money and keep you broke. Every advertisement, every sale, every social media post flaunting luxury is a trap to make you spend. The system is built to keep you poor by making you crave shit that does nothing to help you grow. And because you lack self-control, you fall for it every single time. You lie to yourself. You tell yourself you need this bullshit. You convince yourself that spending money is a sign of success, when in reality, it's a sign of weakness. The more you spend, the more enslaved you become. But here's the truth they don't want you to know. Money is just a game, and once you understand the rules, you can break free. The moment you stop thinking like a consumer and start thinking like an investor, your entire life changes. Instead of looking at money as something to spend, you see it as something to grow. Instead of fearing investment, you fucking seek it. Instead of working for money, you learn how to make money work for you. And once you reach that level, life becomes fucking limitless. The rich mind isn't born, it's built. It's trained. It's developed through discipline, through sacrifice, through the relentless pursuit of knowledge and opportunity. If you want to escape the cycle of poverty, you need to start making different decisions. You need to stop acting like a poor man and start thinking like a rich man. Every dollar in your pocket is a seed. Plant it wisely or piss it away and stay exactly where you are. The choice is yours. The biggest prison in the world isn't made of concrete and steel. It's not guarded by men with guns. The biggest prison is your own mind, and the system has built it perfectly to keep you inside. You wake up every day not realizing you are a slave. Not to a person, not to a government, but to a system designed to keep you broke from the moment you were fucking born. They programmed you. They told you to go to school, get good grades, get a job, save money, retire at 65. That's not a plan for success. That's a plan for control. They need you just smart enough to work, but never smart enough to escape. They give you just enough money to survive, but never enough to be free. And because you've been trained to think this way your entire life, you never even fucking question it. You've been taught to fear risk, to avoid failure, to play it safe. They don't want you to invest. They don't want you to start a business. They don't want you to understand money, because the moment you do, the system loses control over you. They need you to be predictable. They need you to wake up, go to work, pay your bills, stay in debt, and keep consuming. And you obey like a good little worker, never realizing you're building someone else's dream while yours rots away. But the real tragedy, they don't even have to force you. You do it willingly. You convince yourself that this is how life is supposed to be. You tell yourself that getting rich is for other people. That success is about luck. That financial freedom is just a fantasy. You've been brainwashed into believing that working hard at a job for 40 years is more secure than betting on yourself for 5. That's how they fucking trap you. Not with chains, but with lies. And the worst part, you feed the very system that keeps you enslaved. Every time you buy something you don't need, every time you finance a car to impress people who don't give a fuck about you, every time you waste money on distractions instead of using it to build something, you are not just a prisoner. You are your own fucking jailer. And until you break out of this mental prison, you will never be free. So what's it going to be? Keep living like a sheep, or start thinking like a fucking wolf and take what's yours. The choice is yours. The truth is, the system is rigged, but not in the way you fucking think. It's not designed to keep everyone poor. It's designed to keep the weak poor. The lazy, the undisciplined, the ones who drown themselves in excuses instead of drowning themselves in work. But the strong, the ones who wake the fuck up, who see through the illusion, who refuse to play by the bullshit rules. They escape because money isn't a mystery. It isn't luck. It isn't some exclusive privilege reserved for the elite. Money is a fucking game, and the rules are simple. But guess what? They don't teach you the rules. They don't want you to know that money flows to those who understand how to multiply it. They don't want you to know that wealth isn't created by working harder. It's created by thinking smarter. They don't want you to understand that every dollar you earn is a soldier, and if you deploy it correctly, it will bring back fucking reinforcements. A rich man's money works for him. A poor man's money works for others. Look around you. The richest men in the world aren't slaving away at a job. They own things. They control assets. They invest in businesses, real estate, systems that generate wealth while they fucking sleep. Meanwhile, you wake up every morning, trade your time for money, and then immediately hand that money over to people who are already rich. Your landlord, your bank, the corporations that sell you useless shit you don't need. And then you wonder why you're broke. But here's the real secret. They cannot stop you from escaping. The doors are open. The knowledge is out there, but you have to make a fucking choice. You have to decide you are done being a slave. You have to be willing to go against everything you were taught, to unlearn the lies, to take risks, to fail, to learn, to fight like hell for your freedom. The road is hard. It's fucking brutal. But the reward is everything. Because once you break free, once you understand how money truly works, you will never be controlled again. The moment you stop thinking like a poor man, the moment you start treating money as a tool instead of a fucking toy, your entire life changes. The world is full of men who will spend their entire lives trapped in financial slavery. But you don't have to be one of them. You can wake the fuck up. You can rise above. You can build the life they told you was impossible. But it starts with your mind. It starts with your choices. It starts today. Most people will spend their entire lives chasing money like a dog chasing its own fucking tail. They wake up, go to work, get paid, spend it all, and repeat. They never stop to ask themselves why they are always broke, why they never seem to get ahead, why their bank account is a constant source of stress and misery. The reason is simple. They think like poor people. And as long as they think like poor people, they will remain poor no matter how much money they make. It's not about how much you earn. It's about how the fuck you think. Poor people see money as something to spend. Rich people see money as something to grow. Poor people see risk and run away. Rich people see risk and charge straight into it. Poor people live for the weekend. Rich people live for the future. You want to be rich. Then you need to start thinking like the rich. You need to stop living like a fucking sheep, jumping every time the system tells you to jump. You need to start looking at money like a weapon, a tool, something to be used strategically, not something to be wasted on bullshit. You either break free or you stay a slave. And if you choose slavery, then don't complain when you stay broke. That's on you. A rich man doesn't see money as something to be spent. He sees it as something to be fucking multiplied. Every dollar that enters his hand is a tool, a weapon, a soldier that must go out into the world and bring back more. He doesn't waste it on bullshit. He doesn't buy things to impress people. He doesn't spend for the sake of spending. He deploys his money strategically, ensuring that it continues to grow and work for him while he sleeps. Meanwhile, the poor man spends every dollar as soon as he gets it. He upgrades his phone. He buys new clothes. He finances a car he can't afford. He thinks the purpose of money is to be spent rather than invested. And because of this, he remains trapped, living paycheck to paycheck, working harder and harder, but never truly progressing. He doesn't realize that his own pathetic habits are the reason for his suffering. But the truth is, it's not entirely his fault. Society has fucking programmed him to be this way. The system wants you to spend. The system wants you to stay broke. That's why they push consumerism so hard. Every ad you see is designed to make you part with your money. Every marketing campaign is crafted to make you feel like you need to buy something. They don't give a shit about your financial freedom. They care about keeping you locked in the cycle of consumption. The rich don't play that game. The rich understand that money is a means to power, not a means to pleasure. They don't buy liabilities. They buy assets. They don't throw their money away on distractions. They put it into vehicles that generate wealth. That's why the gap between the rich and the poor keeps growing. It's not because of some conspiracy. It's because the rich understand how money works and the poor do not. They make decisions based on strategy. The poor make decisions based on emotions. And if you want to escape, You need to change the way you fucking think. You need to stop seeing money as something you simply spend and start seeing it as something you must make work for you. Every dollar that enters your pocket should have a job. It should be invested. It should be grown. It should be multiplied. This is the fundamental difference between a rich mind and a poor mind. The rich mind sees money as a weapon to be wielded, a tool to be sharpened, a force to be multiplied. The poor mind sees money as a toy to be wasted, a crutch to lean on, a temporary pleasure to chase. And here's the real irony. Most people don't even realize that their own fucking mind is the biggest thing keeping them poor. They bitch about money. They complain about not having enough. But they never take the time to actually learn how money works. They refuse to educate themselves. They refuse to make the sacrifices necessary to build wealth. They'd rather stay comfortable in their ignorance than face the truth. But you're different. You're here because you want more. You're here because deep down, you know there's another level to life. You know you weren't born to struggle, to barely survive, to live in fear of your next bill. You know you were meant for more. And the only thing standing between you and that reality is the way you fucking think. The moment you shift your mindset, the moment you start treating money like a weapon instead of a toy, your entire life changes. You stop wasting money on shit that doesn't matter. You stop giving a fuck about what people think. You stop pretending like life is happening to you instead of being controlled by you. It's all on you. And until you start thinking like the rich, you will stay broke, miserable, and forgotten. The choice is yours. You will stop making fucking excuses. You will start moving with purpose, with strategy, with intent. And when that happens, success is inevitable. Because here's the truth. The world doesn't give a shit about your excuses. It doesn't care about your circumstances. It only cares about results. You can either keep playing the game like a pawn, following the rules they set for you, or you can rise above, learn the real rules of money, and play to win. The choice is yours. You have two choices right now. Keep living the way you always have, or wake the fuck up and take control of your life. Most people will never make that decision. They will keep wasting time, keep making excuses, keep playing the game on someone else's terms. And then one day they'll wake up old, broke, and full of regret. They'll look back at their life and realize they wasted it chasing shit that never mattered, working jobs that never fulfilled them, and living in a system designed to keep them in place. They'll realize they never truly lived. They just existed. But you don't have to be like them. You don't have to accept the life you've been given. You can choose to rise. You can choose to stop thinking like a broke motherfucker and start thinking like someone who is destined for greatness. Because the truth is, money is just a byproduct of power. And power comes from your mind, from your ability to see opportunities where others see limitations, from your discipline, from your relentless pursuit of what you want. The problem is most people are too weak to handle this truth. They don't want to take responsibility for their failures. They don't want to admit that their situation is a direct result of their own actions. They want to blame the government, the economy, their upbringing, bad luck, anything but themselves. And as long as they keep making excuses, they will stay exactly where they are. Let me tell you something. Nobody's coming to save you. There is no magical moment when life suddenly becomes easy. The only way to win is to become the kind of person who cannot lose. That means strengthening your mind, controlling your emotions, and understanding that your time is the most valuable asset you have. You don't fucking waste it. You don't trade it for a paycheck that barely covers your bills. You don't spend it on things that don't serve you. You use it to build. You use it to create. You use it to become untouchable. A poor man spends money because he's chasing happiness. He thinks the car will make him feel powerful. He thinks the designer clothes will make people respect him. He thinks blowing his entire paycheck at the club will impress women. But the rich man prints money because he understands that happiness isn't in the things. It's in the freedom. It's in waking up and knowing that nobody controls you. It's in having the power to say no. It's in knowing that your time is yours and yours alone. That is what you must aim for. Not temporary pleasure, not validation from people who don't even respect themselves. Real power, real freedom. But that only comes when you stop thinking like a slave and start thinking like a fucking king. That only comes when you stop looking at money as something to spend and start looking at it as something to grow. The people at the top don't work for money. They make money work for them. They put it into businesses, into investments, into assets that keep producing more. They never let their money sit still. They don't waste their energy chasing after paychecks because they understand the real game is about control. When you control your money, you control your time. When you control your time, you control your life. The moment you understand this, everything changes. You stop buying shit you don't need. You stop giving a fuck about impressing people who don't matter. You stop living for the weekend, waiting for permission to enjoy your own life. Instead, you start moving differently. You start thinking differently. You start making decisions like a man who is going to win no matter what. Because at the end of the day, the world belongs to the ones who fucking take it. The rich are not lucky. They are not special. They just understand something most people never will. And if you want to be one of them, you need to start by changing the way you think. You need to start by controlling your mind, your actions, and your future. Most people will never do this. Most people will never even try. But you are not most people. You wouldn't still be here if you were. So stop waiting. Stop hesitating. Stop playing by the rules that were designed to keep you broke. Take control, print money, build your empire, or stay exactly where you are and watch someone else do it instead.